Whether you use digital signage to advertise, educate, or inform, the content on your screens needs to connect with your viewers and deliver a clean, clear message. But as critical as content is to making a digital signage project a success, many still struggle to produce attractive, efficient, and effective segments to show on their screens. Fortunately, making great digital signage content is as much science as it is art, and with a few simple tips and techniques, you can supercharge bland, ineffective clips, making them into memorable, efficient delivery mechanisms for your messages. And in these videos, we're going to show you how, one step at a time.
Tip number 3, contextual relevance and the vampire effect. Context is important, really important. And that's because a viewer's perspective and environment physically and psychologically change the way we take in, comprehend, and store information. Let's use the widely recognized skull and crossbones symbol as an example. In a stockroom, a pharmacy counter, or even in your medicine cabinet, a skull and crossbones will immediately equate to danger or poison for most people. Thus, they'll read the associated message primed with fear and caution that goes along with that. But at a theme park, movie store, or other entertainment setting, the exact same symbol could easily be interpreted differently, for example, as pirates, and the viewer would be primed with a completely different set of feelings and emotions while receiving the rest of the message. Because context has such a strong effect on how people perceive content, it's also important for visual designers to understand that certain images have far more contextual impact than others. We call these images attention vampires because they're able to draw far more than their fair share of attention, thus leaving less for other items. For example, consider this pair of images, which was taken from a print advertisement for a high-end watchmaker. Although the watchmaker intended for most of the attention to be focused on the watch, as the visual tracking map on the right shows us, the watch did get some attention, but not as much as the people's faces. Humans' faces are one of the most powerful attention vampires, as our brains have evolved over millions of years to give us the ability to quickly identify faces with just a few quick cues. Placing even a single image of a human in your content will result in attention being drawn away from the other elements on your screen. This in turn means that your viewer will spend more cognitive effort decoding the faces than remembering your messages. Another powerful attention vampire is imagery of babies. In fact, according to research firms GfK and Pretesting, images of babies and baby faces are the most effective attention vampires of all. While ads that utilize baby imagery as an essential part of conveying their message can benefit from this, ads that do feature a baby's face but don't rely on it are actually at a disadvantage. Additionally, removing the baby context altogether can make for an unintelligible message when that message is baby-related. Now that we know a little bit about context and vampire effect, how can we put these things to use? To begin with, items that we're biologically programmed to notice draw attention away from other areas. This can be either advantageous or disadvantageous depending on what the main thrust of our message is. When used improperly or accidentally, attention vampires can divert attention away from the star of your content, but when used correctly, they can promote viewer attention in key areas. While this phenomena exists in all media, glance media like digital signage are most susceptible. If you've made it through these first 3 videos in our series on making great digital signage content, you should have a solid foundation in viewer psychology and mnemonics. In our next video, we'll be putting these new skills to use as we discuss some tips and tricks for writing great digital signage copy.
If you'd like to take a deeper dive into today's topic, or if you'd like to learn more tricks about making great digital signage content, visit www.wirespring.com/blog and do a search for Making Great Digital Signage Content.